Aging has a way of revealing truths we spend much of our lives trying to outrun. We chase youth, chase certainty, chase the illusion that time is something we can bargain with. But if we're honest with ourselves, the later years aren't just about what the body loses, they're about what the spirit learns. And most people overlook this quiet paradox that as our steps slow, our understanding deepens. As our world narrows, our vision sharpens. It's a strange kind of grace, this season of life, a reminder that fragility and wisdom walk hand in hand. And yet, in a society obsessed with speed and spectacle, how often do we stop and ask what it truly means to age with dignity, with purpose, with health? Most people never ask the harder question. In a world growing older by the day, what does it say about us if we fail to care for those who carried us this far? You see, in the early years of the 21st century, something profound began to unfold. People started living longer, not just in privileged pockets of the world, but across entire societies. And suddenly the idea of aging wasn't an abstract notion tucked away in the distant horizon. It was here, present, pressing. Families wrestling with caregiving responsibilities, communities grappling with isolation, creeping into quiet homes, doctors navigating the delicate balance between autonomy and support. And yet, amid all that tension, you could feel something else stirring. Programs expanding to help seniors stay active, telehealth opening doors that once stayed closed, neighborhood centers becoming little sanctuaries of connection. It wasn't textbook history, it was human history. A story of hope braided with fear, progress shadowed by uncertainty, a reminder that democracy isn't just about elections. It's about whether we choose to honor every stage of a person's life, whether we treat the twilight years as a burden or a blessing. Well, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on educating content as this. And when I think about that, I'm taken back to some of the older folks I met while organizing on the south side of Chicago. Men and women who'd weathered decades of hardship with a kind of quiet steel. They didn't speak in grand speeches, they spoke in lived truth. I remember sitting in cramped living rooms where the heater rattled in the winter, listening to seniors describe how their bodies were changing, how the neighborhood was changing, how the world felt like it was speeding past them. And yet, there was always a moment, a little pause when they'd lean in and share something you couldn't find in any policy briefing. A story about raising children through lean years. A joke about getting older that carried more wisdom than melancholy. A reminder that aging wasn't just happening to them, it was teaching them. Later, in the White House, when we worked to expand healthcare or strengthen long-term support, I'd think back to those voices, those faces, and I'd remember that leadership at its best isn't about commanding attention, it's about listening to the people who rarely raise their own voices. Um, Seniors taught me humility. They taught me patience, often through their patience with me. And they taught me that hope isn't loud, it's steady, it's disciplined. It asks you to show up every day to move your body even when it aches, to eat well even when appetite fades, to reach out even when loneliness whispers otherwise. The funny thing about aging is that it forces us to confront the deeper architecture of our humanity. It asks whether we believe health is an individual pursuit or a collective promise. It pushes us to rethink the tension between independence and interdependence, between wanting to do things our own way and needing others to help us through the harder seasons. And it reveals something about leadership too. Because governing a country isn't all that different from caring for an aging loved one. You're juggling freedom and responsibility, compassion and honesty, realism and hope. You're reminding yourself again and again that progress, real progress, costs effort. That exercise, nutrition, community, and preventive care may sound like small things, but together they decide the shape of our final years. And in these times when inequality defines who gets care and who doesn't, when technology can bridge gaps or deepen divides, when climate and instability make life harder for those already vulnerable, the moral question becomes unavoidable. Do we choose to build a society where seniors can thrive, or one where they're left to navigate the shadows alone? So, when I talk about aging gracefully, I'm really talking about something much larger. I'm talking about how we see each other and how we see ourselves. I'm talking about democracy as a living commitment, one that doesn't end at adulthood or retirement, but extends to every person who has contributed to the long arc of our shared journey. Aging well isn't just about vitamins or morning walks, it's about honoring the people who taught us, raised us, challenged us, loved us. It's about seeing in their slowing steps the same determination that built our communities brick by brick. And it's about understanding that the strength of a society is measured not by how quickly it moves, but by how carefully it carries those who move more slowly. In the twilight of our years lies the wisdom to light the path for those who follow. And true grace, the kind that doesn't fade with age, is found in the courage to keep living with purpose, connection, and care. So maybe the real question isn't how we grow old, but how we choose to treat those who already have, how we build systems worthy of their resilience, and how we carry forward a future in which dignity isn't earned by youth, but guaranteed by humanity. What kind of society do we want to become as more of us reach those later chapters? How will we honor the elders who shaped our world? And when our own time comes, what legacy of compassion will we hope to inherit?